Hey, what's up there, Joe's Pepper House members? Today is going to be a massive updated video of my pepper grow. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about it, and I would also like to mention that this will be the last video for this channel. I'll leave the channel open, but this will be the last video. And the reason for that is I want to take and start doing all my updated pepper growing in with my barbecue. Because it's time consuming. I mean, plants take a while to grow, and I don't see really much content I could give you other than seeing the same plants all the time. So I figured, well, why not put them on the barbecue channel? Because the main purpose of me growing these peppers is to make my own hot sauces, my own rubs, my own powders, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to share that on the channel because I'm going to be using it with the foods that I cook. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road, and I'm going to give you guys an update of everything I did. A lot has changed, and let me tell you, a lot has changed. If you want to go back to see the two update videos that I've done, which will be my very first video and the second video, I will link them below, or maybe I'll put an iCard up here or something, wherever that would be, and we'll go from there. So without further ado, let's check it out. Okay, as you can see, I've installed a few more tents since the last video. This one was here, and this one here I was getting ready to build. All the tents are the same, all from the same company, which is Ultra Yield. Okay, and these here are, all three tents are the same, or 2 foot by 4 foot. That's these three. And over here is a 24 by 32. All right. So coming back over here, I'm going to show you guys that originally I had these doors closed on these tents, but it's impossible for me. This is in my office, by the way, on the main level of my house, and these tents were just building too much heat. So what I had done is I bought these fans here from Walmart. Okay, they're turbo fans, and with the doors closed, so this one here would come out through here, then I have a fan here to go out in the dead area in there. Okay, and then here I did have a fan blown out that way and a fan blown out that way, a turbo fan. Now, being that these are 96 inches tall, which is 8 foot tall, this one here is like 72 inches tall. As you can see here, that fan exhaust there, and I had a fan on top of this tent which goes right here. Okay, so starting with tent 1, as you can see, I installed 2 fans right underneath these Agribright from Hydroponics. They're the 6 tube, 4 foot wide light fixtures. Then over here, it's all the same. This tent here has the same fans. Tent 3 has the same fans, same lighting, same everything. And then with this tent, I went with something a little different. I bought these high bay lights, these hyper light. It's 250 watt light, and it is extremely bright. And as you can see, these lights, they're all adjusted to the plant size. So as you can see, this one's lower, them plants are a little bit smaller, these plants are a little bit taller, so it's up a little bit higher. This one's down lower. Okay, and this one, as you can see, is pretty much maxed out at the top of the tent. Now this light does come with a dimmer option. I'm not sure yet where I could get, what type of dimmer to get, but I'm sure I could research that and figure that out. Also, I'd like to mention that, let's go back over here. I know I explained why the doors are open. You guys are probably going to frown at that a little bit, but it's the only way I can manage the heat in here. Let's go down here to show you guys what I got. I know in my previous video I showed you guys that I had them yellow 27-gallon totes. Well, I went completely away from that. Way too much water, way too much time to, to drain them with the pumps and all that. I could lift these out no problem because there's approximately 6 gallons of water in here. So you guys seen the video, which is the video before this one, where I had built these DWC totes, okay? And all I did was added a fish tank, like stick-on thermometer. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through the plants here. Right here I got the Carolina Reaper from Pepper Joe. This date here, this 11/15/19, this is when I started the seed, when I germinated them from seed. And this is what we got so far. We have Carolina Reaper, another Carolina Reaper. This one's doing much better. Here we have the Trinidad Scorpion from Pepper Joe. This one was planted on 11/7/19 and it sprouted on 11/28, which I thought was pretty impressive. And look at the massive leaves on this thing. I mean, just gorgeous plant. Come over here to this plant. This is the Khang Starr Sugar Rush Peach. She's doing beautiful. Actually, I think she's starting to bud a little bit. Not sure if you guys can see that or not. Here is this is the Tabasco Hot from Pepper Joe. This one here I topped for this is the second plant that I topped. And if you follow me on my Joe's Pepper House Facebook group, you'll see I have little short video clips of where I topped them. And this was, I topped it on January 5th, and all this new growth just within a week. This thing is gonna be crazy. I mean, I just cannot believe all the new growth that's coming out of this plant from after I topped it. Now over here, you'll see that this is the Khang Starr White Tie. And as you can see, I topped it January 4th of this year, and then the next day I had to top more because I found more that were budding. And again, you can go see, this was the very first plant that I actually, cut the tops off. And it's doing, this plant's gonna produce a lot of peppers. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Well, at least I hope so. This is my first time growing period, as you guys know. Okay, let's go over to tent 3. As you can see, it was planted on 12, or seeded, or started germinating 12/7. When I popped them in the Rockwool Chocolate Bootla from Pepper Joe, to the Habanero from Pepper Joe. These here, I have duplicate plants, and man, they just seem to take a while to grow, and I'm not sure why. These are the yellow horns. Planted these on 11/15. Not sure if I'm gonna top it or not, but because it looks like it's getting ready to bud. If you guys can see the bud there, let's see if I can turn this so you guys can see it. There. And I'm not sure I want to top this plant yet, and the reason for that is because of the size in this tent. Because if I start topping these plants get big and bushy, there's not going to be enough room in here. Yeah, I also got a fan in there as well. Oh, if you guys are wondering, the purpose of those fans are just to keep to push the heat out of those tents, because those lights do get pretty hot. They're not LEDs; those are the T5 grow lights. And over here, that is an LED, which I'm very impressed. I also have, probably figured, well, how do you know how I adjust the lights? Well, I got an app. It's a Lux app that I got on my Play Store for Android, and I placed a sensor right above the plant. And as long as I'm getting about 27 to 28,000 lux, according to the app, this app is probably not accurate, but I'm going by how my plants are going. So I feel that even though the numbers could be wrong from a professional meter, well, I'm going by what works for me. So if these plants are doing good, if this app, according to how I adjust this light, then that's what I go by. And as you can see, my plants are doing very well, so that's what I'm going by. And that's why also, when I put that Lux light here, I get 30,000 lux from the top, and this light's all the way up to the top there. That's why I want to get that dimmer for it. Okay guys, let's move on to the counter, the ones that are not in the tents. We'll start over here. This one here I also topped on the 4th, and if you want to see the updates, again, go to my Joe's Pepper House Facebook group. And as you can see, she's getting some pretty good growth there. I mean, this is all new. Oops, sorry. That's all new. Come over here to the jalapeno. I did not top this plant, and this is a Pepper Joe plant as well. So is the Italian peppercini. And over here, we have the cayenne from Pepper Joe. This plant here, I did top, and as you can see, I have new growth coming. And all the ones that I had topped, I had marked them, so I know which ones I topped. Then it's pretty obvious. Over here, we have the Thai Firefinger. Okay, did not top that one, but that's what that one looks like. Come over here to another chocolate bootla from Pepper Joe. Okay, and there's that one. If you guys remember me posting some questions about why those dimples are in there, I have no idea. See, like that one there? I'm not sure, but I have a feeling she'll grow to be very healthy. And then over here is another habanero, which is taking a while. I don't understand. So real quick, let's go starting from the right here. Oh no, actually what I want to do is show you the lighting that I have going on here. So on the ceiling, you can see that I took those flanges and just screwed them into the floor joists. Did that one, and that one. And there's over a 12-foot span across this whole area here. Okay, and then I took 1-inch PVC and glued it, put a T here. Everything's been cleaned and glued. Very strong setup. And then I put some eye hooks up in here, okay, with some zip ties to kind of hold it, because it was bowing a little bit, because these lights, they're not, this is just empty here. These lights aren't that light. And you guys know I got these adjustable straps where I can raise and lower. Here is a Chocolate Reaper that I'm getting ready. I'm gonna let it get bigger. I usually wait till the roots get from underneath the rock wool before I'll go transfer it to the DWCs. These are just store-bought peppers, habaneros, that I made some hot sauces with, and just took the seeds and see if they grow. Okay, there's the update, and these 3 lights are the same 4-foot 6-tube lights, tent 1, 2, and 3. Same lights. If I had to do it again, I would like to buy 2 of these per tent, okay, and then just get dimmers. That would be my ideal. But then again, I can always change these out to LEDs. There's a little bit extra wiring you got to do to make it happen, but I could do that. It's not a problem. I just got to get the bulbs. But I'm going to run this full grow with these T5s, and if they produce the peppers good, I may keep them, but I don't want to because of the energy in here. It's bad enough that I have over 2,500 watts throughout this whole office with all these lights and everything going on. Here's a pump here, a 32-watt pump. Got it on Amazon, and this is one that's got the 6-port on there, and that's running these 3 in tent 1. Then over here, I don't know if I could get you guys in there. If you look, I don't know if it's going to show it or not. Yeah, well, anyway, I can't get you guys in there anyway. There's a 102-watt pump back there that's got a 12-port. You go on Amazon, you'll see the pumps, and if you guys look at my other videos, you'll see that I got everything linked. I believe it's the video before this one. I linked everything there. And that 12-port 102-watt pump is running tent 2, 3, and 4. So all these plants here you see are running off one pump. Then of course that smaller pump is running that one. Let's get back over here. All these here that you see are all 12-gallon totes, 6 gallons of water. And I have a small pump, 32-watt pump that I showed you in tent 1 is running these right now. I do have another 102-watt pump right here, 12-port, that I'm going to be running 9 total 12-gallon totes across over here. The reason why they're not filled up under this light is because I need to plant some seeds. So right here I could put 3, which I have 2 more down in the basement. I have to go buy a couple more of these totes, and the reason for that is I want to plant some more seeds. All right, here I got the Khang Starr, the Sugar Rush Peach. This here is the Purple Reaper. This here is a Yellow Reaper. This one here is a Black Reaper. I only got 2 seeds, so I hope they germinate, and which I'm just lucky enough to get them. And this here is a Reaper Pink Tiger Peach, which I've never heard of. Now these here I could definitely do, but I'm gonna have to get rid of a couple of my duplicates. So if anybody's interested, you know, just comment below if you're in the Northwest Indiana area. I'm giving away the plant itself. The only thing you'd have to buy is the 6-inch net pot. Oh, and plus shipping, if you want me to ship it, which I'm not sure how to do it, so it's best for a local pickup. And then all you got to pay for is a 6-inch bucket lid. And the nice thing about the bucket lid is if you didn't want to buy the whole tote, then you could just get a 5-gallon bucket from Walmart, the black ones, and it's the same thing, and they'll work just fine in there. As you can see, they work really good. Which here you'll see these are doubled up. These buckets are doubled, but you don't have to do that. I just do that so I have more root area for the roots to grow in. Next thing, rock roll cube. I use these smaller ones. I've been testing with the bigger ones versus smaller ones. These naturally take forever to soak, at least an hour or better. Excuse me. And when I first started germinating, I can tell you right now that I just used my regular tap water. I didn't have any filter. So yeah, there was chlorine in there and everything. Yeah, they germinated. They did a great job germinating. But I made it go a lot faster when I pre-soaked the rock roll cubes, no matter which ones I'm using, in pH balanced water of 5.8. After they soaked and I knew they were thoroughly soaked, I'd go ahead and take them out of the water and then mix up a fresh batch of water and then mix in 1/8 nutrients of the Flora series grow, which I'll get here in a minute. Just 1/8 of what their quarter is, so nutrient content, and I'll show you that in here in a minute. And I'm telling you, the last ones I did with all these peppers you see, well, most of these peppers you see here, they just come up like crazy. All right, they sprouted in no time. So I do believe adding a tiny bit of nutrients does help the seed, even though I know this, people say that the seed has enough of the nutrients for it to grow itself. Well, I found that it would be a little bit faster, just my experience. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff that I use. This is all that I use. I don't use anything else, nothing different. The Flora Micro, the Flora Grow, and the Flora Bloom. And these here bottles are I just use them because they're easier to refill these and use these instead of these. When my roots come out of that 6-inch net pot, what I'll do is I'll go to a mild vegetation. And I'm telling you, well, for me, it's been working. And I haven't come off the mild vegetation ever since. I didn't never go to this, the aggressive one as of yet. But I might have to here soon with a few of the plants that I got growing. These charts are on all of them. Here is the general hydroponics, pH up, pH down. I rarely ever have to use this. I already went through a whole bottle of this. And this here is the CalMag that I use, and I only use this on the initial startup. So basically when I do the water change, I will use a quarter of what they recommend because I'm using tap water. And I forgot to tell you guys that on my second germination, I did use a water filter. I bought it on Amazon. It was like 69 bucks, guaranteed to last 3 years or something, or however, 10,000 gallons of water. I can't remember. Maybe I could, I'll post a link in the Facebook group if you guys were interested. So, and it's supposed to take out the chlorine and other contaminants. It's not an RO system. Okay, so anyway, every once in a while I'll use this just to make it easier to fill. Just pour it in there and dump it. Depends on what plant that I'm treating, or I'll just go ahead and use these little thingies here, which work out great. I also went and got this Blue Lab meter, which lights up when you stick it in the thing, and I go by the EC. Now, I did have one of these meters here, which is a cheap EC meter you could buy. And you could buy them in a combo kit with the pH meter like this over here. You could get them in a kit. I think they're like, again, you get them like for 24 bucks for both of them. When I did the calibration fluid, I noticed this one was off by 0.15. Both of them were exactly 0.15. These are not calibratable. There are some that are calibratable, and usually they're on the back here, but these are, I guess, the knockoff versions of them. You get what you pay for. But I've been using it, well, actually I stopped using it when I bought this. But this one has the EC meter, or the EC dial, and they just light up wherever your nutrient level is at, which makes it so much easier, and I believe and agree with a lot of people out there, it's the easiest way to use. Okay, this here is the ThermoPro. So you could get 3 receivers to check your temperatures. So you can hit the sync here, and now it'll sync. So basically channel 1 is tent 1, and then it'll cycle through. Tent 2 is 82 degrees, and then tent 3 is 86 degrees. Now overall 36% or whatever it was on the other ones, and then here is this sensor, which is over here by my computer or whatever. We're hitting at 43%, sometimes we're at 45. At night it's about 50% humidity, and we're averaging about 82, as you can see. Tents are a little bit hotter, of course. And what I do to help adjust my humidity is to use this Honeywell, it's like a gallon or a gallon and a half cool mist humidifier, and I just kind of let it blow out in the room. Now also, if you see, these fans aren't blowing directly on these plants right now. When I did have them blowing on them, I didn't like the way they were doing, so I take the heat out. But I do have a ceiling fan here, and that ceiling fan does move these plants ever so lightly, and even over here on these. All right guys, let's go ahead and we're gonna start wrapping this up. I'm gonna show you guys the roots and all these. We're gonna go ahead and start from on the counter here. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. This sensor here, how am I picking those up? Okay, well over here in tent 3, it's these sensors right here. And I have one over there. So let's go ahead and check out the roots on this. Okay, there's a Italian peppercini, jalapeno, cayenne. This is the fire finger. And as you can see, all my bubbles are aggressive. I'm not having any problems. And my water level, if you notice, it's right to the bottom of the net cup. I feel that the grow media, or the clay pellets you see there, people talk about the air roots. Well, that's where I believe they're growing from. So while they're down here, while the water's at the bottom of this net cup, I think it's adequate. And because I'm using tap water, I can't use a whole lot of, I could probably go full strength nutrients without having too high of an EC value, but having more water helps me because of my tap water. Now if I had an RO system, it'd be a different story. This one here does not have any roots yet. She's still yet tiny. Over here at the yellow horns, I mean massive. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, let's check out this one. They have massive air bubbles there. And I believe because I'm giving it a lot of air bubbles, and another reason why I pretty much have to give it a lot of air bubbles is because of my my air pumps. They're so powerful, and I don't want to choke down on my, on the ports, because then what it does, it starts overheating the pumps. Because it's bad enough that this one here, that 12 port, the bigger pump I showed you earlier, that thing will run about 100 degrees and 85 degrees for the smaller ones. Let's go over here to the habanero, the little tiny root right about there. Over here, this is the chocolate butla. She's doing really good. This one here, that bubblegum from Pepper Joe. The KSY Thaya. This one here is massive. And I do have the water level lowered on this one. Over here to the Tabasco Hot. Come over here to the Sugar Rush Peach. This plant really took off. And a lot of these plants, they took off as soon as them roots started coming out of that net pot. Man, they just took off. Other than that, they took a while to grow. I'm not sure if, what we're at, January 10th, and I planted the seed 11/15 of April, so. All right, let's come over here. This is tent 1. This is the Trinidad Scorpion. Beautiful, man. I love them. The leaves are freaking monsters, man. Look at that thing. Just a few days ago, the tips of these leaves here were over here. Looking like. All right, guys. So, also I'd like to show you guys the equipment that I'm going to be using and some things that I bought recently that I really like. I got this Ninja Mega Kitchen System. My wife got it for me for Christmas, and this is going to be great for making my sauces and salsas and things like that. And she got me this food mill. Got the idea from Chillichump, because he used it on one of his videos, and the mill will actually take pretty much the pulp out and just get the juices out, and I could take and freeze the rest of it. And if I want to make chilies, after they're froze, I could like anything pretty much. Spaghetti sauce, I like spicy spaghetti. I could just take that cube and throw it in the sauce, heat it up some. Here's some stuff from Mikey V's. These are the tubes you could buy, about a 3-pack. And you can see the Carolina Reaper's gone. And man, I tell you, this stuff is really good. Of course, this is my first powders I've ever tried, so I got a lot of experimenting to go. But I got the 7-pot Primo and their ghost pepper as well. Over here, from Pepper Lovers Facebook group. It's an awesome group. I bought from this North Shore Pepperworks. Both these companies had very fast shipping. I did not get to try any of these yet. As you can see here, show you what I got going on. Okay. You can always ask questions in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to answer all your questions. Just keep in mind that I am brand new to growing. This is my very first grow. Eventually, I will be taking all my pumps. As you can see, it's pretty loud in here. I will be taking all these pumps and dropping them below this basement. I'm sorry, below in the basement, which is right under this floor. And I'm going to set up a thing on the floor joists where I can mount my pumps so I won't hear it up here. So it won't be noisy up here. And again, as you can see, these plants here, I gotta say this, these plants are doing very well on the counter. So what I'm going to do is, after these are all grown, they're all doing their thing, and they start producing peppers, I'm going to make a decision on taking these tents and dropping them below in the basement and starting a whole new grow down there. It's pretty cold down there, so I should be able to get away with zipping up the tents. The only problem with that is I got to buy a new lighting, and I'm not sure if I'm going to buy these. I may go with a couple of these. Oh, no, that's not it, guys. Jeez, what am I thinking? Here from Baker's Creek, I went and set up my first time growing some vegetables hydroponically. And plus, I grew some in soil, never hot peppers. But as you can see, we got some root growth there. And basically what I got here is spinach, kale, thyme. We got some rosemary and some basil growing. Some of them didn't make it, like that one didn't make it, this one didn't make it. Some of them are leggy because I had to get used to how I was gonna light it. And as you can see here, this is just a 4-foot, 4-tube light system. And I heard they don't need that much light, so I just got the 2 center ones on for now. And I just have it hooked up to this thing you saw in the beginning of my videos, this germination station. All I did was took a couple clamps here and hung the light on it. It's plenty sturdy, no problem at all, ain't going nowhere. And it's pretty much a fixed level. So hopefully these things make it. I guess they're doing pretty good. I didn't tell you, but I'm using this as a, I got a few of these here, power banks I got on Amazon, and I got my timers put on them. So I have quite a few extension cords, but they're the heavy duty ones, they're not them cheap ones. I believe these are the 14 gauge. So that's what I got going on. I'll have a total of 20 super hot peppers, or peppers in general. Eventually I'm going to restart some, and I'll have 24 different varieties of greens, from lettuce, spinach, and herbs. Okay everybody, like I said, this is the last video. I hope this update maybe taught you something, or you got some great information out of it, or if you have any questions, please leave them below. And go check out my barbecue channel, Joe's BBQ House. Again, I'm going to be posting all the updated videos on all this on that channel. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and we'll talk to you later.